It's real physics in the sense that when a toroid turns inside out recursively, it's that implosion that makes it self-aware, and it's the self-similarity that makes it embeddable. So there's actually, we both have toys.
Yeah, I like yours.
But
Um,
it's when Temple said that now he realizes that plasma becomes self-aware, and the new information is how it becomes self-aware is that recursive implosive turning inside out that becomes centripetal and embeds in the longitudinal array, which is the physics of why toroidal ball lightning so well responds to telepathy. That is the physics of how the plasma became self-aware.
huh. Dan, when you moved forward like that, the sound became a lot better. Is there any chance you can
Oh,
move like a
okay.
foot closer to the camera?
Good
Then,
idea. Okay. Is that
then your
better?
oh, there your sound is a lot better now. Yeah, I was
Okay,
struggling
great.
to hear you, but
Good, good. Okay, good.
okay. Just to you may not have seen this, but accidentally, a friend of mine had his own Taurus stone many years ago, and he put it in a bucket of water at night. He woke up the next morning. And he took one photograph of it, and this was it. Thousands of tiny bubbles spiraling around, going into the center of the Taurus stone.
Wait.
I mean, you can't make this stuff up. It's just so beautiful.
I think the coherent longitudinal correlates to a negative ion wind effect. And the coherent longitudinal is what water is designed to eat. Because it's centripetal, it's how water becomes healing. We have many devices that send longitudinal into water. For example, our fire crystal. When you pump this with the right pump wave and point it at water, the longitudinal wave in that water is profoundly healing. We have many
Yeah,
devices that make longitudinal as well. So that's saying that your toroid is making a coherent longitudinal, probably.
yeah. So what's interesting, you're using a crystal, but look, that crystal it's a cone. It's a
Exactly.
cone-shaped tool.
Exactly.
So
And
keep
that's
in
what we're
mind
saying.
that these cone-shaped tools for the viewers that have not seen this before, seen my work before, this is what I started picking up here around the stone circles, right in the
Yes.
beginning. And I was picking up these weird shaped stones, thinking, this is not normal. What's going on here? And then accidentally I discovered that cone-shaped tools are actually a major thing in ancient civilizations that you see,
Yes.
cone-shaped tools all over the place. Here's
And this
another
was
priest kind of guy holding two cones.
this
Um,
was a particular skill that Enki had using the cone shape. And
yeah,
the physics appears to be that like a pine cone can be used to make rain, that if you were to feel just above those cone-shaped tools, you should feel a slight negative ion wind cool breeze,
yeah.
which would correlate to a spectrum analysis of its capacitance, which would be a phase conjugate pump wave, which is like the Schumann cascade, which would then be confirmed that when you show the dielectric constant and the piezoelectricity of the materials, you see the physics of how it became implosive and plasma projected.
Okay, I want to come back to this because I want to share some of my theories on how I think they use these. I think they use them in all kinds of ways. I mean, here you can see this guy is obviously healing somebody with two cones in his hands.
Yes.
What I
Yes.
find interesting is the direction of the cones. The fat part is at the bottom. It's like he's extracting some negative energies or bad energies out of that individual and sucking it out. That's what the way my brain connects to this image, right? And then I found these cones. These are from Egypt. These are funerary cones used in funerary procession in Egypt. I don't know what they would have used these for. Maybe you might get some more ideas because you've done more work with someone like Anton Parks and Egypt and all that. This might trigger a few things in your head.
Well, we know a lot about the physics of how ghosts are released and ancestor memory. So if a ghost, someone who dies does not get sufficiently centripetal at the moment of death, which is why the death visions are contagious and the death visions have symmetry that's known Heinrich Kluve, that you see your whole life the moment before you die, because if you don't do implosive compression, you're not distributed into the longitudinal array called ancestor memory. So devices which help release stuck ghosts are those that create plasma projection, literally plasma compression implosion. Examples are our Therify and our Phi-Ray. So our plasma devices are known and published for actually helping release stuck ghosts, and a capacitive cone could do something similar.
So there's that famous image of that sort of bird-headed being holding the cone, and
That's close. That's close.
and then on his wrist there's a magnetron kind of watch, right? You can clearly see it's a magnetron shape, and it's a similar kind of magnetron shape that you see on some of the seals, the Sumerian seals of Enki sitting on his throne, and all these. It's about 3 or 4 magnetrons floating around him. So they were giving us all these clues. And I'm going to come back to the magnetrons because many of the stone circles, some of the 10 million or so stone circles that are scattered across southern Africa, which is an insane number, are in the shape of magnetrons. Where is it? Um,
That toroidal?
Yeah, so obviously we now know that the stone circles are just cymatic patterns, that each stone circle is a cymatic shape representing the frequency of the earth coming out of the ground at that specific point. And that's why each stone circle is completely unique, and it's an energy generating device that just amplifies the frequency of the earth. What's interesting when you look at the size of these,
Yeah.
it is consistent with the Schumann resonance.
That's the beauty. And, that's one of the reasons we're here today is maybe we can help add more scientific physics depth to your description. For example, regarding magnetron, in conventional physics, when you say magnetron, we'll think about the power unit in a microwave oven focusing the microwave. It's a cavity for resonating microwave. Now, it's interesting that we know about the Earth grid after Bob Dratch did microwave emission scanning, and he showed he could measure Kundalini from the microwave of ATP 1.91 angstroms in a spinal scan, which was the history of cellular trauma. So Kundalini is measurable in the microwave. And it's interesting that the microwave amplifier, it's a gold foil cross crucifix, which is tuned to the ATP cellular microwave. That amplifier is profoundly symbiotic. I mean, that frequency from bodily microwave, ATP, ADP, that most important molecule in the whole body, that is profoundly symbiotic to the Earth grid. So when you use that same microwave scanner to scan the horizon, you find you have the ultimate dowsing tool, meaning that the known dodecacosa geometry of the Earth grid is actually very active as a aligning microwave transmitter, specifically aligned to human metabolic ATP, ADP cellular microwave, which is, we know at these sites, as Karatbach proved, the only places you can get military quality telepathy is at the magnetic line crosspoints. And what that DNA radio requires is the microwave radio. So the point is the alignment of those, as you say, the magnetrons laid out on the Earth, is a way of intensively focusing planetary microwave to embed in cellular microwave. And that would have many functions: accelerating metabolism, accelerating neg entropy, making telepathy possible. And in fact, sites like that are the only places actually that things like ancient cathedrals and labyrinths and stone circles and Agnihotra, all these devices, and even Therapy, all our plasma devices, all work better at those longitudinal nodes.
Yeah, so it all comes back to sound resonance frequency,
Yes.
Magnetic fields, magnetism,
Exactly.
and the implosive.
We can now actually give a spectrum analysis to each one of your terms and prove it by measurement. Spectrum analyze the microwave, then we spectrum analyze the capacitance, and then the acoustics, like we spectrum analyze the spine liquid pump in phase with the liquid horn ventricles of the brain when Benthoff measured the biophysics of Kundalini, which then embeds in the Earth grid, all motorized precisely, all of them, by the phase conjugate pump wave named the Schumann resonance harmonic cascade, which is all of the harmonics of Schumann. Then we got a lot of pictures here, we'll dig them out later, are within a fraction of a percent of exactly PlanckFire.com, Planck times golden ratio, meaning somebody, I think it was Thoth and Enki, spent probably 1 million years designing this planet so the ambient Schumann harmonics are a precisely calculable phase conjugate pump wave, which is the only way all of the pyramids made global wireless power. So you take this perfect phase conjugate pump wave, Schumann cascade, tune the pyramid precisely to it, that capacitively implodes, dumps out the coherent longitudinal, which is the only physics of global wireless power. And we go into a lot of detail about how Tesla didn't quite figure that out. But anyway.